Alright, welcome back. So recently we have received the Object 775 Pancake platoon, and the Pancake is in the same tier as the T-55AMD-1, and that did get me curious to actually compare two vehicles to see what are the differences and how will they compare to each other. So I'll start with the AMD-1. It has a 100mm main cannon, 52 km/h top speed, 8 km/h is the reverse, it weighs 42 tons, 330mm average penetration. The main gun is able to launch ATGMs, also able to launch a variety of APS shells, has high explosive, has heat. Also one of the only vehicles that has the active protection system. It helps to shoot down low velocity, high explosive shells, heat shells, and it can shoot down a variety of ATGMs. It is, however, unable to stop supersonic ATGMs. They will impact the vehicle, but everything else should be good. Now, the Pancake. This is probably the flattest vehicle in the game. Has a 125mm main cannon, only able to launch ATGMs. 5mm is the average penetration. The reverse speed of this vehicle is definitely much worse than the reverse on the T-55AMD-1, but the top speed seems to be a little bit better. The reload, this thing has a very mad reload, has an autoloader, I think 6 missiles loaded in a revolver-like autoloader at the bottom of the vehicle, 6 or 8, I kind of forgot the exact number. And the front armor plate is ridiculously tough, but the weak spot is in the lower plate and the vehicle does not have any active protection system. So, let's see how the vehicles will perform. Now, I can tell you right away, the Object 775, might be considered one of the more wild vehicles, firepower-wise, but while on paper it looks very nice, on paper it looks really strong, I can guarantee you that it's not as easy to play as it looks. The sheer flatness, low profileness of the vehicle, while it can be an advantageous thing, in a lot of cases it's not really the case, especially in the current game modes that we have. In realistic battles, yeah, that thing will probably be much better than in the current game modes that we have in the game, because you can actually hide that thing anywhere. And the more taller T-55AMD-1 is much more easier to use and play around. This thing is a bit taller, it has a better reverse speed, usable reverse speed, and overall it is much better than what you would actually expect it to be. I was very surprised by the T-55AMD when I originally played the vehicle.
Enemy forces have captured a zone.
The fact that it can launch ATGMs is a huge bonus. I think this was one of the first vehicles that we have received in the game that was able to launch ATGMs from the main gun.
We're ahead of the enemy.
The APS shells are okay. I would say it's a 100mm APS cannon or shell, and for the caliber it's doing decent damage. Much better than the 90mm that we see from other vehicles. Also, the AMD does have composite armor, has extra protection and all stuff like that comes along with a upgrade. But overall, one of my favorite T-55s in the game is definitely this one. And honestly, when you look at this vehicle on paper, you might think, well, this thing kind of maybe sucks. That's what most players would actually say when they see this vehicle for the first time. But I actually was one of those players when I originally took the T-55 out, and then this vehicle changed my opinion on it, because some vehicles have very weird stats, and on paper might look like not good, but then you play the vehicle and then you say, oh, it's actually really decent. So that's why I'm pretty much willing to give any vehicle a solid valid chance, because in most cases when I fail it's bad luck, skill issue, and yeah, just having a bad day. And that can be said for the AMD. Surprisingly good vehicle, despite it being based on a T-55 hull. The active protection system, now I want to talk about that a little bit, because I think this is still the only vehicle that has the active protection system in the game that actually works. Is very good against those annoying ATGM boxes. Now, of course, you have to know how to use it. You have to rotate the turret in order for the active protection system to work. You have to make it look at the ATGM, and it works. It works really well. The only ATGMs that you will not be able to shoot down are supersonic ATGMs, like the ATGM on the AMX Accra Baguette. I think the Object 775 ATGM can be destroyed, can be shot down. It's very fast. I'm not really sure what's the velocity on that one, but all the supersonic ATGMs are a problem. It's good, but it has, you know, its flaws. It's able to shoot down high explosive shells, close proximity shells. I think it's able to shoot down HETFS shells as well. I've seen my shells at least get intercepted by the T-55AMD. So overall, the active protection system is what makes this vehicle very unique, and it's what's making this vehicle special. Of course, the armor, frontal armor being composite, it is good. It's a bit tougher than the ordinary armor, and if angled you can definitely bounce shells, but I would not be relying on the armor. You can actually rely on the active protection system. That's a solid valid protection option for the vehicle. That doesn't rely on having to take the hit. It basically intercepts the shell on the way to the tank, or intercepts the missile on the way to the tank. That's one way to have solid protection on a vehicle. And I think to date this is still the vehicle with the best protection against any incoming missiles, which is amazing. Very nice to have that on the T-55AMD. I'm very sure more newer vehicles, modern vehicles, some other vehicles that will be added in the game will also have the active protection system, and I believe some of the already added vehicles will get the active protection system at one point. Oh look, revenge bombs. Well, good thing is I am behind rocks, and rocks will absorb all the explosions. There we go. Good. I was actually worried for a second that it would troll me through the rock. Thankfully it didn't. Maneuverability on this vehicle is, as I said, really good. The gun is really well stabilized.
Enemy forces have captured a zone.
And that's a M48, Karoo knocked out, very good hit. The ATGM, being a small caliber ATGM, still does some very nice damage despite being a smaller missile. I think this might be one of the smaller guided missiles in the game, but for that it still does very nice work, able to penetrate a lot of armor, so that's what matters in the end. And it's also very fast. This ATGM is definitely a fast one. Fast and accurate, and very stable on its flight path,
Guide on me.
which is what matters. Okay, now I'm taking the revenge bomber, and just like that the battle ended up being a clutch. I don't know why, but it just happens like that. I don't mind having to clutch a battle, but can I enjoy the game for once, and can a battle not rely on my performance? Please, at least one day. Okay, there is a... Now, can this vehicle count a Merkaba? Yes, it can. The ATGM is actually more than capable to to hit a Merkava without much of a problem. With the AP shell, I would aim for the weak spots, but for the Merkava I would use the ATGM. Actually, you can go punch through the armor of the Merkava with most vehicles, you just have to know where to shoot. But you know, at the same time, one of the things that makes the Merkava good is the fact that not many players know where to shoot it. Even though it's kind of confusing to me how, because at one point there's been Merkavas everywhere, but yeah, that thing is mostly nasty because a lot of players don't really know where to shoot a Merkava. But you know, it's in general a good vehicle, and that was a good battle. So let's go and play the Pancake, because why not? Let's go and play the Pancake. So, the Pancake, while having ridiculously high firepower, it is definitely a bit more difficult to play than the T-55AMD. Now, yes, it has a much better armor. I mean, that slope is just insane on this thing. The rate of fire is also absolutely wicked and busted. The missile launcher is okay. I would say not the best missile launcher, but what's making it amazing is the reload. It's an autoloader. The autoloader makes this thing wild, basically. And I would say, because of the autoloader, I would say this is probably one of the better vehicles out there in the. Did my ATGM just bounce off the front? What the hell even happened there? I don't know. I just looked at it for a split second, and yes, if you're wondering what is my internet doing, my internet is ruining my day, as usual. Ping and lag. Oh no, that's about to be lovely, isn't it? So, Pancake. Yeah, Pancake time. That's what this thing nicknamed. It got nicknamed the Pancake because of its flat. It is a flat vehicle. There's no denying it. It's a very flat, very small tonk. But I would say this vehicle is one of the more. It feels like it's overrated. Like so many players said, this is pay to win. This is so insanely good. I mean, yeah, the firepower is good, okay? I'm not gonna deny that. The firepower is good, okay? But pay to win, no. Far from that. I've had more fails in this thing than I had with the T-55AMD. Because this thing is just a bit more difficult to use. It's definitely a lot more difficult to use, and as I mentioned before, paper stats are not really everything. I would say most players will definitely enjoy the T-55AMD a lot more than they would enjoy this thing, because of the way this thing works. Like, it's small and you can't really hide the whole hull well and just expose the dirt. You either expose the whole vehicle or don't expose anything. That's the thing about this vehicle. With the T-55AMD, it's a completely different story. It's taller, much taller, and you can basically use it like a normal vehicle. Not the case with this thing. And the weak spots. While, you know, the weak spot on this is not that difficult to hit. It's a very small vehicle, only two crew members. Basically, if you hit one, it will immediately go and, you know, into the replacement. You will not be able to use the vehicle until the crew is completely replaced, which makes this vehicle vulnerable in such occasions and in such moments. So this is one of the vehicles that definitely should not be being out there in the open too much. And the weak spot is the lower plate, and if you get hit in the lower plate, the ammo immediately detonates. It's a very small vehicle, it's cramped inside, very cramped inside, and there is not a lot of room in the Pancake here. So anything that goes in will probably result in a catastrophic detonation. After all, it uses missiles. Missiles are quite explosive. And yes, I mean the armor, because not many know where to shoot this thing, you will bounce shells with it. And that's not because the vehicle is good. No, that's pretty much because not many know where to shoot the vehicle. It's pretty much that's the only reason why I'm able to survive so many hits. Not many know where to shoot the object. Shoot the lower plate and shoot the top part of the turret with high explosive. This thing will just pop. That's basically how to deal with this vehicle. Shoot the lower plate and shoot the top of the turret. Boom! Goodbye, Pancake. That's pretty much how it is. A revenge bomber. That's what I call a revenge bomber. There's a bomb behind me, there's a bomb in front of me, and lag. What is this thing doing? Why did you turn... Oh, this internet connection does ruin everything, does it? This internet... Yeah, just look at that. If you don't just look at that delay though. Why did the vehicle just turn... This is one of the dumbest ways I've ever died. Honestly, the dumbest ways, one of the dumber ways I ever died. The tank just decided to show its ass to the enemy, and boom, there it goes, like that. Loved it. No comments on that. Oh, there's the lag. There we go. That's right. Lag more, please. Oh my god. Games don't make us violent. Lag does. I can confirm. And the revenge bomber. There we go. Another one. I am a magnet for revenge bombers. That's a fact. So, anyway, all jokes aside. As you can see, paper stats will not really save the vehicle from being snailed. Paper stats are not going to save the vehicle from being absolutely trolled by bad internet connection. And paper stats are, as I mentioned before, not everything. The object, despite looking better on paper, it still is a bit more difficult to play than T-55AMD. But at the end, do tell me what you think about the two vehicles. Which one would you prefer? Which one do you enjoy more? And which one would you buy if you had the option to choose between the AMD or the object? And well, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you would like to support me, feel free to like and subscribe. And with that being said, stay safe. As always, I'll see you next time.